live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Real good topics.
Yep.
And I somehow knew that we'd be right here again. So for those of you who haven't heard, which I'm sure that most of you have by now, Tom Brady has unretired.
Yes, unretired. Yes.
He is, I believe they're going to have to take him out of here.
On a stretcher.
On a stretcher.
Yep. He's going to be 50 years old still trying to play football.
Yeah.
I believe that.
His dad made some statement a couple of weeks ago saying something to the effect that he feels like the media kind of put pressure on him to retire. And so he didn't really want to. And
interesting.
And
when has Tom Brady ever been influenced by the media?
That's the same thing I said. I think the influence was he went home and he had to start helping them babies with homework. Like, nah, y'all got this.
Did you send that to me? That me?
Yes.
Okay, like he went home and he was like, "Oh no, this ain't for me. Let me go back and play. Let 300 pounds run at me. I'm good. This is too much."
Right.
Yeah.
So
no,
are you surprised by the return? You
no.
know, or more importantly, are you surprised the return is to the Bucks?
So Jordan, I think it was when Jordan was on, Jordan and I talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it then, because that's when he made the announcement. And I was like, this ain't finna stick.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's ego is too big for this. It's no way he can. First of all, I think his mind, I mean, we joking, maybe not, that he would play till he's 50, but I feel like in his mind, he needs to go out as a winner. If he can win one more Super Bowl, like I feel like that's his thing. Like if I could just get one more Super Bowl, I got to go out on top type of thing. Yeah. That's just his ego. And so I feel like, so I was not surprised that he actually unretired, as you call it. Mm-hmm. Am a little shocked that you're returning to the Bucks. I will not lie. Just because of the way things kind of ended, last year, and all of, I don't know what moves the Bucks have made, but unless you are sure and certain that they've shored up an offensive line, I don't know what good this is doing for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think, one, because like the rules on retiring, and we saw this with Brett Favre, when he wanted to go back to Green Bay, right? It wasn't like he could just like go back and then say, I'm going to another team.
Right.
Green Bay ended up trading him, which is what they had to do. And so, he probably never filed retirement papers, and I'm surprised that nobody kind of kept their eye on that part.
Right.
Because to me, that would have let me believe like that he was actually going to retire. Him actually filing papers and, walking away.
Right.
Now, Brett Favre actually did that, and he actually submitted, reinstatement papers. So even with that, if you are still on contract or still under contract with a team, then that team is a team that holds your rights. And so I figured, and this is something that's still a possibility now. I figured that if he was coming back, it would have had to be the Bucks, because it would have been a very difficult proposition to say, or to go to Bruce Arians and say, hey, I don't want to play with y'all no more. I want to play in San Fran, make it happen.
Right.
Well, because that's in conference, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there would have been a reluctance, and Bruce Arians would have said, okay, you might as well stay retired because I'm not doing that.
Not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. but it's Tom Brady. It feels like Tom just
Just do what
the
he want
rules
to do.
don't apply.
Yeah.
He just do what he want to do. So, like, if you wanted to come back and you wanted to go play in San Francisco, they figure out a way to make it happen for you. Like, that's how I feel. But I understand where you're coming from, and so I see that.
Yeah.
But I just, and I feel like because of those restrictions, that's something that makes it surprising that he did decide to come back, because you're restricted. Did you have to, you know what I mean? So, but we'll see. He always working behind the scenes on stuff, so it's no telling what's really happening.
What's coming up? Yeah, that's why I say it's still a possibility. I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah,
it seems more improbable than possible.
Yeah,
if you understand, you know.
But he's also a poster boy for improbability. So
yeah,
he's still playing at the level he's playing at darn near 45. So
yeah, Lord,
he is improbable.
Yeah,
so,
right. He is an improbability.
There was a poster boy for improbability. It's Tom Brady's face, right? So
I don't know if we ever seen anybody do it like this.
No, not at all. Yep. All right.
Let's see. So the MLB minor league is testing the ABS, which is the robo umpire. They're testing out larger bases, call challenges, and limited pickoff pitches, as well as bans on outfield shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you see itself making its way to the majors?
So in reading the article about this, they said in 2023, they plan to have larger bases already.
Okay.
And
I did hear about that part.
Yeah, they're going to have the larger bases. And I believe the call challenges are also on the books for 2023.
Okay.
But I think this is the pilot season for the robo ump. And so that may be something, if it goes over well, we might see it in the next 5 to 10 years in MLB. In the limited pickoff pitches, I hope that they don't end up like keeping this rule. Just because I feel like for me as a person that I'm not like, I like to go to baseball games. I'm not gonna sit down and watch a whole baseball game necessarily unless it's like a really important part of the like World Series or playoffs or something. Mm-hmm. But that's part of what makes baseball fun for me, is like stealing bases or trying to keep them on base, or you know, that chess match between the pitcher and the person on first. Like, or you know what I mean? Like that's always one of those things that kind of keeps me interested. So limiting his ability to do that kind of sucks.
So to your point too, because I'm someone who I don't like to watch baseball on TV. It just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
When you go to the game, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
I think that baseball is making this move in an effort to shorten the game.
No, that's what they said.
We can't have the game so long. And what you'll see is, and it doesn't happen often, right? Which is why I think this is actually a good rule. It doesn't happen often, but you'll see every once in a while a pitcher just have it out for a runner, and he'll continue to try to pick him off, knowing that he doesn't have the opportunity to. Yeah. And what that does is it lengthens the game, because this game isn't like a timed game. Right. It's all about, you know, how many outs you get and how quickly you get them. Right. So I think limiting the pickoff pitches and having it be strategic is a good thing. And maybe it could go to helping people want to watch the game on TV more. But I know if I'm watching the game on TV and I start seeing that repetitively, I'm turning away. Right. And I would consider myself a casual fan. I don't know how like core fans of baseball deal with that, but no.
Yeah. No, I get it. They said, I think they've already kind of been working some of these things, and the minor leagues have been, and it's cut off like 20 minutes, I think is what I read.
Okay.
About 20 minutes of the game. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, but now if you add these call challenges in, what is that going to do?
Probably balance it out.
Exactly. my point. So
yeah, but you need those though, because the reason why you need those challenges.
Absolutely.
We've seen some egregious stuff in baseball. Like baseball over the last couple of years started getting like boxing, where you look at the result and you like, now what now?
Come on, Sunface, right? Yeah.
So
yeah. But we'll see. I don't know. But 2023 we'll definitely see the larger bases. And I think the calls will be the challenge calls will be out there as well. So yeah. We'll see. But I think it's cool that they don't just throw things at them without testing them, right? I mean, I know it's bad that they got to be the ones to test it out, but I'm really curious to see about this whole robo-ump thing, because that takes things to a whole nother level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're in the CBA. It almost wasn't a minor league, so I would think that they would at least be happy.
Right. If we got to get guinea pigs to keep a job, right? I see that. But it's interesting. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Yeah. All right.
Like Kyrie Irving. So initially, I didn't have much. I don't want to say I didn't have much compassion for this Kyrie Irving thing. My thing is, like, if a decision has been made and you've made your decision and you're drawing a higher line in the sand, then so be it.
That's it.
But after looking at what's happening with New York City and their COVID restrictions lifting, and the unfairness, in my opinion, of him not being able to play because he didn't get a vaccine, and players coming to Brooklyn and them being able to play because of some rule or some restrictions that they still have in New York. I just see that as totally unfair. And it feels like, it's a singling out of Kyrie. Now, I preface this by saying that the NBA doesn't have a rule that Kyrie Irving can't play. This isn't on the NBA, so it's not as if the NBA is trying to make a lesson out of him or anything like that. This is a New York City thing. But the rule is so ridiculous given the fact that other players can come and play in New York and not be vaccinated. I just don't understand.
Yeah, there is no logical explanation. I don't care what you came with that would make me understand what's going on, other than I feel like it is either a punishment for Kyrie, which is not, I'm sure there are other players that this affects. So I'm gonna take that off the table, but I will say I think it's punishment for the private sector, which the NBA happens to be a part of, right? It's not something that the government runs, or they needed to relax those restrictions for their own good, but not really thinking about anybody else.
Yeah,
kind of weird. It's not fair, like you said. It's unfair. So I just hope that the one thing I will say is he's taking it all in stride. I don't see him he ain't complaining. He don't have much to say. He just, where I go play is where I play.
I'm gonna go play. And I'm gonna go put up 60.
I just don't. Right. So
when I get the opportunity to play, I'm gonna put up 60.
Right. Pretty much. There you go. He's like, well, y'all want to do that, then I'm gonna do this. Right. Right. So no, I feel like it's definitely unfair. And and if you're gonna relax the rules, then relax the rules. Period. I don't know how you pick and choose who you relax the rules for. That sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds a wee bit familiar, but we'll see. But the one thing I will say like I said, for him, he's not making a big stink about this in one way or the other. So I appreciate that. He's taking the high ground, which he has the whole time, in my opinion. It's just been kind of, this is my decision. If you want me to play, I'll play. If I can, I will.
Right.
That's it. Like, no, this is just how I feel. So, so good for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so our next topic is free agent moves, but we're going to expand this to off-season moves because some of this stuff that we've been seeing, let's do it like this. Because we obviously can't go over every single move,
right?
But you talk about some of your notable, and let's say your three notable off-season moves that you've seen thus far.
Right off the bat. We're gonna talk about this in a minute, so I'm gonna leave it alone for right now. But I'm just gonna say the name. Mitchell Trubisky to the Steelers. Carson Wentz to the Commanders. Why your face go like that? I got 4, I'm sorry. Von Miller to Buffalo.
Did you have to mention Carson Wentz?
And Devontae Adams to the Raiders. Okay. Those are some of the ones. The Bills are about to be in the Super Bowl. The moves they making, they're about to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because they were this close.
Yeah.
Already.
I mean, I was pulling for them to beat the Chiefs, and they
were this close. And you know how I feel about it, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Listen, but yeah, I feel like the Bills are putting themselves in the position, and it's not a building of this super team or anything. They just putting pieces together. They already got good pieces, and they bringing in exactly what they need in order to be where they need to be. Yeah. So I really love that move for them to get Von Miller. If it too bad it hadn't happened before we started this, but we know that it's potentially another big move that I'll be happy with. You were not so much. That is potentially on the horizon, and that is Deshaun Watson coming to the Falcons.
Well, so I'm going to name him anyway. That's one of my 3.
Okay.
So one of my 3 is wherever
Deshaun Watson lands yet. So, but
now it's looking like he's leaning towards the Saints. So
no.
And so I'm certainly pushing for that.
No.
I think if what is the coach's name? If Sean Payton was still there, I think it would be
that would be an awesome move then. Absolutely.
I don't know what they're going to look like now, so that's why I'm a little bit leery of it. But you know why I don't necessarily want him to go to the Falcons. And it's not about no Falcons hate or anything like that. But I just feel like now, especially with losing Calvin Ridley for the year, they're just not equipped to win right now. And maybe, and I think this was your point, he could boost the franchise and boost the morale and possibly put them in a position. I just don't see it. I think that wherever he goes, that's one of mine. Khalil Mack to the Chargers.
Yeah.
That's a great move. Yeah. And Russell Wilson going to Denver.
Oh, yeah. How could I listen? Yeah. Yes. I mean, I don't want him to be, you know how I feel about John Elway. But but
you know what? I found something interesting about that. And I'm gonna talk to you about it offline because I don't want to ruffle any of our listeners' feathers who feel like John Elway is one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. But I got some information because I never really paid much attention. You know what I'm saying? I saw him in that first Super Bowl. I might have been 3 years old, but I vividly remember him against the then Washington Redskins. And I can't remember what Super Bowl it was, but I think it had to be 88. I was 3 years old up watching that Super Bowl. And I just remember my team being down by 10 and then me blinking and then them winning 40-something to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I digress. Those are my choices right there. I think this is what John. Oh, wait. You don't feel so good about John Elway. That's right. I'm talking as if Oh, so we definitely gonna have this conversation offline. But I got some. When I send you this information, that this guy carefully crafted and carefully put together about John Elway's career, like it's gonna blow your mind.
Okay.
But
I look forward to it. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean, for him to go somewhere, and I feel like he's going to be embraced there, so that's good, right? That part makes me feel okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I just don't. It's sometimes it's just the energy somewhere.
Yeah.
And it can be one person, right? It just makes everything just stink, and it's just yeah. And so I'm just not a fan of his. Yeah. But can I go back to this points?
Yeah, no, definitely.
About Deshaun Watson coming to the Falcons. Here's what I know it will do. It will ignite the city, first of all, but it's very much so that there's been this missing thing since Michael Vick left. Because let's face it, Atlanta is chocolate city.
Yeah. I don't know more.
The rally that they have not been able to feel. I mean, listen, my cousin and I literally had this conversation yesterday that we gonna cry like real tears if the Falcons have to trade Matt Ryan.
Oh, that they ain't gonna be able to keep.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So it's bittersweet for me. Like I want Deshaun to be home, right? Because this is home. Yeah. But I also don't want Matt to go anywhere because poor baby. Like I feel for Matt Ryan. I do. But you know what? And my cousin and I, we came to this conclusion. Matt Ryan has to leave the Falcons. I hope they said that they can go into Indy. That's a good spot for him. And if that's where he ends up, just don't send him nowhere crazy and we'll be okay. And I want him to have a shot. That's all. Just a shot at winning something because he's had to deal with so much shift and change his entire career with the Falcons. And so I hope that he gets that shot.
I think you got to send him to Houston.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, because you're trading.
We're not going to trade him. We're not. I don't know how they're gonna get Deshaun, but you're not sending Matt Ryan to Houston.
Well, how you gonna get Deshaun Watson?
I don't know. They're gonna have to do some kind of three-way trade or something. Because no.
Well, what do you have to give to Houston of any value?
They don't need nothing. You don't deserve anything.
Oh, okay. Okay. I feel you from that point. Because that was the owner, the inmates running the asylum owner. That's him. Yeah, so they don't deserve nothing. Good.
They don't deserve anything. Like, really. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I'd be like, oh, it's okay a little bit is because he got Lovie Smith as his coach. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing that makes it appealing at all. Yeah. But, yeah, I feel like Deshaun Watson coming to Atlanta would be a huge, and then he's a Georgia boy. Like, it'll just be really this big thing, right? Yeah. I do, but that's it. But yeah, I love the picks. I love the people we talked about. This Devontae Adams thing, him and Derek Carr, it's gonna be ugly. Oh, where did Amari go? Amari Cooper in Chargers too, ain't he?
Yeah, he with the Browns. You said Amari Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah, he with the Browns. Yeah.
Browns. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's a bunch of them.
It's been a bunch of moves.
It's been crazy. Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
All right, Steph, I need your help with this next story.
Because I'm like, what is this?
Because I know, and I threw it on there. I threw it on there at the end because I felt like it needed to be talked about. And I sent you the topic. I think this morning or last night. And so this is about the transgender swimmer.
Okay, that's who that is. Okay.
This is about the historic feat. She is the first trans swimmer to win a championship
in D1.
In D1. Now, I want to preface everything that I say by saying that I am in no way transphobic. I don't have any issue with how anyone decides to live their life. That doesn't have any a primary effect on me or my family. You know, so how you choose to live, how you feel, that I don't have any problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is that, and this is bigger than just this sport, this championship. What I'm seeing is there is an assault on women.
Mm.
And when you look at stuff like all of these crazy abortion laws being passed, and you see, you know, you already see the disparity in women's sports. To have something like this happen feels like more of the same.
Mm.
Now, again, I don't have a problem with Lia Thomas making the decision that I am a woman.
Lifestyle. Right.
That's your lifestyle. That's totally your business.
Right.
But when it comes into the arena of sport, the reason why it becomes an issue is biochemistry.
Physiologically, physically, all of that. Yeah.
We cannot ignore that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it unfair.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that there's this clash of the women who are fighting for women's rights and the LGBTQ plus community. And this has put them right in the crosshairs of each other. And we're seeing it play out on ESPN and even, you know, local news. But something I want to share that was kind of, you know, telling to me,
mm-hmm.
that in the 2018-2019 season, in the 200-meter freestyle, Thomas's times were 1:39, which made him the 551st ranked man in the world with those times, or at least in the NCAA, excuse me.
Okay.
Well, in 21-22, his time got a little bit slower, just a little bit, by 2 seconds, 1:41. But that made him the #1 woman in the NCAA.
So you went from being ranked 500th in the world to #1 because now you identify as a woman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and let me say, I don't think that this is some nefarious scheme of
No, that's not what I meant.
Or her, excuse me, saying that,
mm-hmm.
you know, I'm not making it as a man, and so I'm going to go compete as a woman.
No.
But the facts are the facts. Womanhood is a fact.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. Like,
it's biological. We can't do nothing about it.
We cannot change that. Now,
right.
You being trans, that's totally your right. That's totally,
right.
But we cannot change that. And I think that, you know, it's a slap in the face to allow a trans woman to compete with women, knowing that there is some sort of a physiological difference, and then to have her be celebrated.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair at all.
Yeah. I wonder if, here's the part, are women who have to compete and play these sports being asked their opinion?
I haven't heard anything, and I really was searching. I wanted to hear from one of these women she competed against.
Mm-hmm.
And even you could just see with that, like, I want to be careful, and I want to, you know,
respect that she is who she is now, and that's okay. Like, it is what it is, but it's just, no, there are some things that are, you can't, I don't care how many hormones you take, I don't care how much you grow your hair, how much makeup you wear, how many heels you put on, there are some things within you that are different because when you were born, you were male.
Right.
And those things have come along with you as you've grown up. And you just, obviously you just transitioned, because in 3 years ago, you were competing as a man.
Right.
So that is the part, I think, if we just break it down, like, this has nothing to do with the choices, your identity, your being, there's no judgment about that. That's not what I think, if I'm saying it correctly, what you're really trying to get to is just about the biology. Right. It is just the unfair part is the biology. It is just that at the end of the day, your muscles are bigger, there are so many things that are just, there's no way, and I could go to the gym with you every day and I would never look like you. Mm-hmm. We could do the exact same thing, and I would never look like you. Right. Because I don't have the inside, the biological makeup to look like you. And there's a reason, because you got hormones that are different. You've got just parts that are not being, don't go there.
No, I know, but that's real.
It's things that are just different in the way that our bodies have been created. That's why there is a male and female. And so otherwise there would be no need to put any label on either one if we were exactly the same. I mean, why else do we say that race was created because of some differences? Right. And we just go with it, right? So I am saying that I understand from that perspective that it is a biological bias that comes with you competing when you are not. And I would be curious. Now you got me curious to find out what other women who have had to compete in these circumstances, situations feel about them. But then my other thing would be how women who transition to becoming men, how they fare in situations where now you're a man and now you're competing against men.
There was a profile a few years ago. It was a track athlete. The young lady decided to become a boy, and she was competing in the track. But I don't think that I don't even think that the whole track part even was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think they focused on that part to say like, oh, his times are this now, or anything like that.
But I'd just be curious. Like, I feel like that's some research that should be done.
No, definitely.
Just to see.
I think it would be. You see how this is a hot button issue? I think that it would be more of a hot button issue, or it would be a hot button issue as well on the other side.
Oh no, it would be some stink about that now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It would be some stink about that. If there was a transgender man who went and competed against other men and was able to do better than them. Oh, it would be a stink about that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we would have heard it. We would have heard of it by now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? A big deal would have been made about it.
Yeah, but I will say this: I appreciate you, brother, because where your heart in this is not about judgment. Your heart in this is not about putting somebody down for where they are or what they're doing. Your heart in this is, what is this doing to women?
Exactly. And that's my only point.
What is this?
I want to know the young lady who came in second place. I want to know how she feels. And I feel like these young ladies are scared to death to give their opinion about this.
Oh, that's why you hadn't heard anything, because it's like now I'm looking like the butthole, basically. Right. If I say something, I'm looking like the butthole.
You're transphobic automatically. If you say something, anything against, you know what I'm saying, this situation, you're looked at as transphobic.
But I mean, I want them to be able to speak their truth too. Like, how do you feel? Did anybody? It's kind of like the way that I look at most things that I do in my life. Most of the stuff that I work on is I want to make sure that everybody is heard. Yeah. And so if you making me be quiet about it because you're gonna cancel me, cancel culture, you're gonna cancel me because I'm not even saying that I got a problem with them being my teammate. I don't have a problem with any of that. I'm just, how fair is it to me that I got to compete essentially against somebody who has all of the physical makeup of a man, but is a woman.
Right.
I mean, there are women who have more testosterone in their bodies, and you can just tell. Like, they just muscular, they bigger, they got a lot. And it's the same thing.
We covered one. Remember we covered the young lady who, what did she do? I want to say, was it the Olympics?
Wait.
She did some event in the Olympics, and she was representing the country in Africa. I can't remember her name. I can't remember the event, but I know that they were trying to test her not. They didn't want to allow her to compete.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not going to allow a woman to compete because her testosterone is, a lot higher than. It's nasty. But
it goes back to your point about women in the assault on a woman in that situation, right? Because interesting. Well, yeah.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.